This video was sponsored by Brilliant. I'll have a discount for you to try them out at the end of the video, so stick around. Hey, happy Friday. This week I'll take a closer look at Intel's brand new logo. I'll talk about the new touch keyboard experience on Windows, and I'll also talk about how China is trying to block the sale of TikTok. As always, we also have a weekly tech knowledge quiz that is linked down in the description, so if you'd like to test your tech knowledge, check it out, and welcome to the Friday checkout. Okay, so for my pick of the week, I wanted to take a closer look at the rebranding of Intel. They have a new logo and they have a new color palette, and as somebody who has gone through a rebranding myself at my previous employer, Oppo, I find these rebrandings to be absolutely fascinating, and I wanted to give you like a little bit of a mental framework and explain the logic behind how rebrandings work. So the new logo is Intel's fourth one since its founding in 1968, and it's kind of a simplified version of the original logo. That's actually more on the conservative side, especially when you compare it to companies like Microsoft and Samsung, who went through way more iterations in a similar time frame. The defining changes are, of course, that they have simplified the logo dramatically. There are no ornaments beyond the occasionally colored dot on the eye, just a simple lowercase word, and they've kind of abandoned colors too. Instead of a single, clearly defined blue, they use the logo as white or black, and they use varying shades of blue now if needed. And while removing any kind of ornaments and colors and anything that makes a logo and a brand unique seems counterproductive, it's actually a very common trend. Just take a look at luxury brands like Burberry or Saint Laurent, or even tech companies like Samsung or my former employer Oppo. They have all simplified all the way down to having a monochrome logo with simple sans serif fonts and no ornaments whatsoever. And there is a logic here. When a company gets started, the primary purpose of having a logo or a brand is just to stand out and be memorable. After all, the company is typically small and has a ton of competitors, so standing out is really important, and a really easy way to achieve that is with a unique logo and a strong color. So add a swoosh, add a knight, add a weird tilted circle. You can't afford to be bland, so add anything to stand out. Which in turn, of course, means that the ultimate power move in branding is when your brand becomes so strong it doesn't need any of that eye-grabbing stuff. When it is recognizable to anyone without any colors or ornaments, and it is super difficult to get there. I remember when I was at Oppo, we really wanted to drop our Oppo green and kind of abandon our old weird logo font and just go all simple and monochrome with our logo, but that was super difficult, especially offline in the field where having a color and a unique visual identity was so important to compete against the likes of Vivo and Xiaomi. But over time, all the biggest phone brands have started doing it. Apple, Samsung, and increasingly also Huawei and Oppo have all simplified because simple black and white logos inherently look fancy, are easier to add elegantly onto products and packaging, and give the company more freedom. When the logo is neutral, the company can pair it with any number of colors if needed, and they can use all sorts of visuals and shapes in combination with it without fearing that it would clash with the rest, just like Intel does on their stickers. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the new Intel logo. I think it's coming at a really important time as the company is being challenged on all fronts by AMD, Qualcomm, TSMC, pretty much everyone in the chip industry, so they really need to kind of sell the idea that there's a new wave of something happening here. But yeah, let me know down in the comments how you feel about the new logo. Okay, my win of the week is going to be a quick one. Microsoft has just announced a new touch input experience for Windows 10, which includes a brand new touch keyboard with the new Wonder Bar. It includes a new emoji picker as well as a brand new voice input experience. All three of those appear to be direct ports from Windows 10X, which is just further proof that Microsoft will basically take all of their new UI and just port it back to Windows 10 when it makes sense. And as a Surface Pro user, I am pretty excited about this. The emoji picker, which you can open by pressing the Windows and period key right now, will, for example, finally include GIFs and will show you frequently used symbols as well. I use this panel to find currency symbols and stuff all the time, so that's super handy. You'll finally be able to move the cursor around by just long pressing the spacebar, just like you can on phones. Voice dictation is supposed to be more accurate and should come with auto punctuation and more. And all of this is currently being tested in Microsoft's Insider Rings right now. As a Surface user myself, I've always felt like the lacking touch input methods were really holding Microsoft back from having a useful Windows tablet experience, so I think that's really cool. But even if you only use Windows in a traditional laptop form factor, you'll at least still get the new emoji picker, so I think that's pretty cool. And this is exactly the kind of stuff that I was hoping to see from Panos once he takes over Windows, so I'm happy. And my fail of the week is going to be a pretty major hiccup in the sale of TikTok. According to Bloomberg, China's Commerce Ministry added new items to its list of export controls on Friday. Now, artificial intelligence interface technologies such as text-to-speech as well as methods to analyze data and make personalized content recommendations are matters of national security. In other words, the supposedly magical TikTok algorithm that is supposed to be the secret sauce of the whole platform that keeps users hooked with endlessly relevant video content with no personalization needed and all that kind of stuff, well, that can only be sold if the Chinese Communist Party agrees to it being sold. And of course, the sale of TikTok without its algorithm would make it much less exciting. Now, many experts like Eugene Wei would argue that it is not actually the algorithm itself that is super magical. Apparently, that's just a relatively standard recommendation engine, not too unsimilar to what we see on other platforms, and that the real magic comes from how the app is designed to feed a ton of really clean data to that algorithm. So Eugene argues that because the app only shows you one video at a time and tracks how long you watch it and when you skip from it, it gets super accurate feedback on the quality of each video, and because it can do this over 1 billion users, it gets a ton of very clean data. If that's true, then a company like Microsoft could eventually build a close enough replica, but of course they probably wouldn't be able to do it fast enough before the transition happens. There's also speculation that China is just trying to drag out the sale of TikTok until after the election to see if they can get better terms afterwards, or that they're using TikTok as a sort of bargaining chip in the larger trade negotiations between the two countries, but we'll just have to wait and see. Algorithms and artificial intelligence are often seen as these sort of magical black boxes, when in reality all they are is just maths. So if you want to learn how they work and maybe build the next breakthrough app yourself, Brilliant has fantastic courses on everything from artificial intelligence, algorithms, neural networks, machine learning, and more. Each course is broken down into multiple modules to teach you one concept at a time. They range from completely beginner to pretty advanced. Every course is beautifully crafted, interactive, and comes with a quiz to really drill the core concepts into you. Plus, there's an active community to help you if you get stuck. There are fun examples like building your own search engine, and Brilliant works not only on your computer, but also on your phone, where I especially like the daily challenges that are designed to help you sneak in a bit of learning while you are commuting, or sitting in your bathtub, or frankly doing whatever. There's a free version, and the first 200 people to use the link brilliant.org/TFC, which is of course also linked down in the description, will get 20% off their annual subscription. So check it out, happy learning, and I'll see you next Friday.